Okay. We requested her. She'll be here soon. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about Kate. And she's gonna there she is. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
I'm so
How are you guys?
Working. I swear to God, we've been doing this for a few years now, but you just wouldn't know it.
It doesn't always work. So I'm with you. It's always a relief when everybody has the appropriate internet connection and it can actually happen. So
we're hoping that Instagram is on today because they kind of screwed us on Tuesday. So
well, let's hope that's not today.
I know. Yes, it's not.
It won't be today.
Hopefully we'll bring the good luck. All three of us. Three's a charm.
Well, everyone, this is Kate Oates. So memorize that face because you'll be seeing her in a few weeks.
I know.
I'm so excited. By the way, I have my earbuds in so that you can't hear my dog whining outside the door. So if you see something weird sticking out of my ear, that's what that is. I just didn't want anyone to think that I had anything else going on. So.
Yeah, you have a whole nother conversation going, right?
Yeah.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
That's funny. How are your first few days of school for your kids?
Well, they actually went back super early this year. Our school district they really revamped the calendar. And so my kids have been in school for almost a week and a half. Oh, wow. So it is still early, but I mean, it is still early in the game, but it's also crazy that normal, my phone is giving me memories of back to school, because we normally start a week later from now. So yeah, it's really weird. Exactly? I'm in Lexington, South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
So what they did was, which I really like it, and I'm so glad they finally made this change, because the way our schedule used to be, we would go back to school for 3 days, and then it was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And then we would get to Memorial Day and still have school, and there would be 3 days after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine how many kids just didn't come, either one or the other or both, at the beginning of the end of the school year. So this way we get out, I want to say it's May 23rd or something, or 15th. It's mid-May, and I think that part of it is going to be awesome. We weren't really quite ready to go back, but in the end of the school year, it's going to be fantastic. So yeah. Good. So between them going back to school and me finishing my studio, I've been able to be super productive the last week, and I think the best thing about having my space is that I don't get distracted by all the housework. Because I was working upstairs and I had an office, but it was still you could see, I'd have to walk past the kitchen regularly, and all my laundry and everything. And it's so hard to focus on work when you're knowing that the housework is just sitting there waiting on you. So anyway, it's been great because I'm all set up now, and I come down here in the morning after drop off, and I stay here until I have to pick them up, and it's just awesome being able to get stuff done. So I'm loving it.
Yeah. It looks great.
Thank you.
Nice. Yeah.
And you know what? So you were my first Zoom, and I realized now you're my first live.
Oh, really?
So because I haven't, you're just all the first for the studio. So at the end, if we have a minute, I have it set up on a stand right now, so I don't have to hold it the whole time. But at the end, I would be happy to give you a studio tour. So if we have a minute, I can totally flip the camera around and give you a little tour.
It's fun to see people's workspaces.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of mine. So you can see I'm just I want to show it off. I'm excited.
That'd be great. That's good. Well, we are excited.
Yes. So
talking about we've been planning with you for a good
probably 4 to 6 months. It's been a while. Yeah, because I did actually longer than that, because January is when I did my Longmont chat, and I want to say I heard from you guys within just a couple weeks after that. So
that's where we first kind of met you.
Yeah. So this has been a long time in making, and you're my next trip, and I'm super jazzed. So I'm ready to roll.
Yeah. So now it feels a lot more real because we've booked your hotel.
Yeah. The flights are booked. I'm getting to experience, this is probably only the second time I'm going to be getting the double layover experience. Yeah. Just because small airport to small airport, I thought for sure they could find like somewhere in the middle in one of the big airports, but apparently not.
Yeah.
So I think we were really smart to book like that day ahead, just in case one of those gets messed up. So I'll feel so much more calm traveling, knowing that if anything goes wrong, like we're not going to miss the class. So I'm super glad we did that.
Yeah,
so for those that don't know, really, I mean, and if you haven't been following us, and I'm sure you have, most of you have, but Kate is going to be here September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th for a series of classes. We've got 5 classes scheduled. 1 is sold out, but we're taking a waiting list because you just never know what might happen. But so that's the tailoring class, but we're almost full on the zipper class.
And let me just mention, if you're devastated that you're not getting to take the tailoring class, I am offering that class virtually this weekend and next weekend, and those are that's the last time I'm going to offer them virtually through the year, because all my travels start back up. So if you're just really, really bummed out that you missed on that, then check out my website and you can maybe grab a slot in one of my virtual classes, which is not the same, I know, but you're still going to get all the same goodies, and it's still a great class, even virtually.
Yeah. All right. Good.
I prefer live teaching, obviously, but would you like I wanted to show off the top-down set and sleeve workbook, because I know that's one of the classes that I'm teaching. So for most of my classes, I get really excited about the notes that I prepare for my students. One of my main things as a teacher is I want you to be able to be listening to me and doing our techniques without having to worry about writing every word down that I'm saying. So for almost all of my classes now, I have workbooks. So they're really nice quality. You get like a little cover sheet on the front, a cover sheet on the back to protect it for the future. And then inside you have a class outline, you have all the notes from the class, you've got extra space to write your own notes, see there on the side.
Wow.
So I ask you to bring a notebook, of course, in case you want to scribble down anything that is not in there, but I have spent a lot of time on my workbooks, and I pretty much have to reprint a new batch every time I teach, because I always, you can always improve. So like every time I teach, I feel like, oh, maybe I could like throw that in there. And so I'll end up like tweaking it the tiniest bit. So I never print high batches. I only print what I need for the upcoming workshop, because I know I might want to change a little thing. So, and I print these here at home and I bind them myself. So just another little thing. I'm a control freak. I like to be in charge. I am. I have all the tools here. I have a laser printer. I have a binding comb. I've got all of it, because I've been burned in the past by printers like not delivering materials on time. So I've just found it's less stressful for me to just do it myself. So yeah, I make all your workbooks, the material, and so you're getting, like, if you're signing up for these classes, you're gonna get one of these awesome workbooks for whatever class you're taking. There's a couple pattern classes that don't have workbooks, and that's because all your notes are obviously like in the pattern themselves. But for top-down seamless sleeves, there's definitely a workbook. And I just wanted to show off a couple of top-down seamless sleeve sweaters for people that haven't heard, like that don't know about that construction method, because, so first of all, it is hands down, I've never met anyone that disagrees with me. It's the most flattering, like universally flattering type of sweater to knit. Whether you're doing set and sleeves sewing-wise or seamlessly, it follows the curves of your body, and that's why it's so flattering on everyone. A lot of people like a little bit of A-line under the bust, which is easy to do with this style of sweater too. So some of my designs have A-line, some of them have waist shaping. The pattern that we're actually going to be using, and this is a sneak peek, because when I come to Yarn Bar, this will be the very first time I'll be able to use this pattern. And the pattern will be not even released when you guys get it. So you'll be the very first to get the pattern, and it's called the Perfect Tee. And that's because it's super, super perfect. It is designed with so much detail in mind. You can add stripes to it, whatever. This is actually what we're using for the tailoring workshop, because in top-down seamless set and sleeves, you get to pick your sweater. So this is what we're going to, but it is the same style. So I just wanted to show off what is happening. So if you can kind of see right here, this from here to here is the shoulder tab. And those are the first two pieces that you knit. So you knit two shoulder tabs, and those shoulder tabs will become the base of your entire sweater. So you're then picking up and knitting, you're knitting across some stitches, picking up some stitches for your sleeve, knitting across some more stitches, casting on stitches for the back neck, and so on all the way around. So it's a little bit clunky when you get started, but that's the great thing about this class, is that we're going to have time, because the tabs are so little and you'll knit them really, really fast. We're going to be able to get through the entire join in class. So basically all of the hard parts are going to be over by the time you're done with the class. So you won't have to be wondering, like, am I picking up stitches in the right place? Or, you know, is this supposed to look like this? Are my needles supposed to be so tight? And the answer is yes, they are. They're pretty tight for the first couple of rows after the join. But anyway, I've taught the class before. I taught at Hill Country Weavers. It was sold out, and we had people asking to come join after. Cool. So if you haven't signed up for that class, I really recommend it, especially if you've never knit this style of sweater, because it is a game changer. Once you knit it and see how it fits you, you are going to have a hard time wanting to knit other styles. So that's top-down seamless set and sleeve.
All right.
And
cool.
And then so by the way, Yarn Bar is getting a trunk show of mine. It got shipped yesterday, so you should have it next week. I threw in just a couple of extra goodies, so you have a list when you get it, but they just kind of went with what you had already. So I was like, I'm just going to throw, and I wanted to fill, I figured the box might as well be full. So one of the things you'll have is a Just Nicole, which is this sweater, but you have the original version. Okay. And this is another top-down set and seamless sleeve sweater. So you guys requested a few of those. So anyone that's wondering about the class, once they get the once they get the trunk show in, come in and check it out. Try on some of the sweaters if they're close to your size, and you'll be able to see how amazingly they fit you. Yeah. So just one more perk for the top-down seamless set and sleeve. And then the new class. Oh, and then Baby Nicole. I love that sweater. It is so cute. And if you knit the little ruffled shorties that go along with it, it is the most adorable outfit. We had that. I originally modeled them on my niece, and there's so many reasons I wish I had a girl. I have 4 boys, if you don't know. So
you totally look like you could be a girl mom, but
I would have loved to be a girl. Now that there will be no more children. I had a little bit of trauma with my last baby, and so there literally could not be any more children. But now that I'm a total boy mom, and my kids range from age 10 to age 16, I can't really imagine going back to the baby days, but I have nieces. I have 4 nieces. Oh, fun. So that has been really fun. They've mostly, when I've designed for little girls, they've mostly been my models whenever I can get them. Only one of them lives in town, and she's the one that modeled the Baby Nicole. Yeah. Yeah. And now she's in kindergarten, which is super weird too, because she was like 6 months old. I need one of my sisters-in-laws to just pull me up and give me another baby. I'm ready. Yeah. All right.
It's fun to see the adult, the grown-up Nicole when it gets here.
Yes, that is such a cute sweater. I don't think you got that though. I think you asked for just Nicole, not Nicole Tank. But I'll bring it with me. But you know what? I'll bring it with me. I'll make a note to bring it with me when I come. So you'll still get to see it. It just won't be.
So who's Nicole?
Yeah, who is Nicole?
Oh, Nicole, this is a great story. Okay, Nicole is a wonderful friend of mine. I guarantee you she's not watching this live because she works like tons of hours. But she's a knitting friend. I met her at Rhinebeck. Actually, I think that's the first time we met. And then she was kind of in like the group of people that I travel with kind of regularly. When we travel to events, we tend to stay together and things like that. So we became really, really good friends. So she's Nicole, and the reason why, so the Just Nicole, like the long sleeve sweater was the first design, and then the other ones are based on, the same similar stitch pattern. So that's why she got multiple sweaters named after her. But she basically said, like, this is kind of like what I would want to see in a sweater. And I was like, I'd love to do that. And now Just Nicole is one of my most popular designs. So I'm glad she didn't ask for a cut, because it really she did have kind of part of the idea. Now, the stitch pattern and all the math is all mine, but she was like, I want something simple with just like a little bit of detail that fits really well. And that's exactly what Just Nicole is.
Nice.
All right. So the other sweater I have in my lap is Lovebirds, which you guys have one coming to you, but it's this is a yoked sweater. So totally different construction style than the top down seamless end sleeves, which is why we decided to add that as another class. So that one probably still has space, right? Because you only opened it recently. Yeah. So in the Lovebird sweater class, this pattern is a really, really good teaching pattern, because we get to go through short row shaping, and I'm going to teach you 3 different styles of short row shaping.
Nice.
We get to go through increasing and decreasing. I should have had my paper in front of me for that sweater, but there are just a ton of techniques used in the sweater. And so what we do is we don't really knit the sweater in class. We are going to work a gauge swatch in class. That way, and I'm going to tell you all about how to really make an accurate gauge swatch, because that is the best way to have a sweater fit you, is to have an accurate gauge swatch. And there's so many things that go into that. So I won't get into that now, but in most of my classes, I do a little gauge swatch sermon, because it's just that important. So if you're taking multiple classes from me, just know you're going to get my sermon more than one time, because everyone needs to hear it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to what we're going to do is start by working a swatch, and I'll also be teaching how to do color work with 2 hands, if you're not familiar with that technique. So that'll be a hands-on thing that you can do in your gauge swatch, and you'll practice the other techniques on a different swatch, like the short rows and other techniques that we do. That way you'll have all the tools that you need after class to start your sweater. Because I shouldn't say the most important, but one of the most important things that a lot of knitters don't do is block their gauge swatch before they take their measurement. And you must block it, and you must wait for it to dry before you can take those measurements, because a lot of yarns will change when they are blocked. So that's why I'm not letting anyone cast on for their sweater unless they've pre-done their gauge swatch during class, because I want them to block and dry that gauge swatch.
I'm super impatient, so I
have a couple tips.
Go into a sweater without swatching, but I will not. I do block,
yeah,
but I don't usually let it dry.
Kate, will you want a little blocking station?
Will I what?
Would you like a little blocking station on Sunday for that?
Sure, I could. Yeah, and then I can show everybody how to block. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Okay.
So one thing that I will say for those that are in a rush with their blocking and their drying, I have 2 tips for you. First tip is hanging swatches to dry can be a really great thing, because if you think about how a sweater hangs on your body, it's always going to hang, right? So no matter what the weight of your sweater is, you're never going to hurt your gauge swatch by hanging it to dry. It's not necessary unless you have a heavier fabric, but hanging it will dry it a little faster. If you hang it also, you can use a blow dryer to dry it. So that will get you a dry swatch a whole lot faster than just waiting on it naturally. Now, my other tip comes with a legal disclaimer. I'm not responsible if you set your house on fire. But here's what I do to dry my swatches. My oven has a proofing setting where it only is at 90 degrees.
Oh, I need that.
And so I get my swatches dry within about 30 minutes by putting them in the oven. Okay. That's why I say you probably probably safe if you can get down to like 120 degrees or so if your oven goes that low. I think your fabric is going to be fine. But all I do is I use a big baking sheet and I put a towel on top of it, put my swatch on it, pop it in the oven, and usually halfway through I'll flip it over and it will dry super fast. So, yep, I bake my swatch. I sure do. Yep.
I bet if you just turned your oven on, you know, while it's preheating, like at the lowest temperature, and just, you know, didn't get there.
Yeah. Or if you have an oven thermometer and you set it on, like if you set your oven to the lowest temperature and then turn it off, and then wait until your oven thermometer gets down to that, you know, 120 or below, then you could pop it in, leave the door shut, and that probably enough heat would stay in there to help it dry faster too. But the hair dryer method is really good, and that one is obviously really safe as well. So you don't have to, you won't have to worry about setting anything on fire. And you know, you've worked hard on your gauge swatch. You probably don't want to set it on fire.
Flames.
That's never happened to me. I've never heard anyone happen. I've never heard it happen to anyone. But I always say that whether I'm mentioning that tip in class or somewhere else, I'm always like, I'm not responsible for what happens. But I do it myself. So
well,
make sure you get those low temps. The low temp is the key.
It's pretty, our climate is pretty dry here compared to yours.
Yeah, that probably helps too.
Quickly.
So we're pretty good to just set it and just put a fan on it to circulate.
Yeah, fans are great too. I have a swatching fan in my office, or a drying fan. It's right over there in my little studio. And I use it for if I get a lot of sunlight and I'm hot, I can use it, or it's like the perfect size for if I'm
bringing hair dryer.
Yeah, we'll bring all that on Sunday because the shop will not be open at all on
Sunday.
And
if you want to do that, and that way, if people do finish in class time with their swatch and they want to dry it, and they can cast on, so that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be.
I love that idea. I've never done that before, but I love that idea. So let's do it. If it works, let's do it.
Okay, great.
Oh,
great.
The last thing I brought, or not brought because everything's right here, but the last thing I pulled out was for those of you taking the seamless zipper class. I just wanted to show you, first of all, the little tools that you're going to get from me, and then I'm going to show you a sweater that has this style in it. So if you take this class, what you're doing is, instead of having to sew a zipper into your project, which always terrified me, I've never done it. When I found this method, I think it was on, I want to say Tech Knitter's blog, that I originally saw this done. And I've just kind of tweaked it to how I like to do it now. But it makes your zipper into a knittable object. So what we start off by doing is we use a little tool called a knit picker or a latch hook. And it's hard to see because it's tiny, but at the very top, this little guy, where are we? This little guy opens and closes, if you can see that. So what we do is we use this tool to draw yarn through our zipper, and that will give us loops that then makes it a knittable object.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we learn how to do in the seamless zipper class, and it's really, you get a very nice handout for that class as well that gives you all the steps. That way, if you don't remember all the steps, you'll be able to do it. Let me go grab a zippered sweater because I just want to show you how pretty it looks.
In your nice organized studio.
That's right. I know. I know exactly where it is because I just put it in here. All right.
That's impressive.
Okay, so this is called the Grove pullover, and this little cording is all part of the seamless process.
That's beautiful.
So on the inside, it looks like this. So this is where you've picked up stitches along your zipper, and it works. Other than that, the zipper works, of course. You can do this with separating zippers or non-separating zippers. So we'll practice in class with the non-separating zipper, but it is equally friendly to either one. So I have several sweaters as well with that are cardigans and they go all the way down. And I like that separating zipper. That way you can unzip the bottom a little bit too. But this is another super cutie one. This is the Grove pullover.
Yeah,
and this is one of my, it's got little elbow patches too. And this, my little Oliver, who's my third child, is the one that modeled this. And to this day, that set of pictures, I think, is my favorite of him. He was just, it wasn't, I mean, he was just strangely cooperative for a 3-year-old that day. And he just looked so adorable in every picture. And I just have very fond memories. I wish he would still fit into it. But no, alas, he's now 11 in middle school, and he doesn't even want to wear long sleeves on a 30-degree day. So he's not someone I knit for.
Those of us have older boys, they become a lot more cooperative.
Yeah, that's
well, and I have mine are like 50-50. So my oldest and my youngest are really knit worthy. So they like to church on Sunday or whatever, they'll bring their sweater. Like I don't ask them to, but it is a little chilly in the AC. And of course, this is more in the winter for us because it's still blazing hot outside. But they will happily wear sweaters, and they don't want itchy yarns, but I don't really use itchy yarns, so that's never been a problem. I always pay attention to that, especially if I'm knitting for a child. And I guess I can't even really, my 16-year-old would probably not be happy if I'm calling him a child. He's a little more than that by now. Now that he's behind a wheel of a car, it's probably better that I don't think of him as a child. But yeah, he also loves it. And we have talked about repeatedly, like he wants to pick out yarn and tell me what he wants so that I can like design him a sweater. He does have a sweater that's already been named after him, but that was when he was a baby, so he didn't have any choice over the matter. I just did it. So yeah. But yeah, so for seamless zippers, you'll just have a little bit of homework, and you can either bring a finished project that you want to put a zipper into, and this will all be in a little handout that you get a couple weeks before class. But you are more than willing to. I'm not phrasing this right, but you can bring a finished project and the zipper that you want to put on there, and you can use that during class too.
Okay.
Or you can practice with the tools that I'm going to give you to practice with. It's kind of nice to practice at least on one side before jumping into the sweater, just so you kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But it's a really like mind-blowing class once you figure out like, oh my gosh, I get how this works now. So we have to worry about our gauge when we're picking up stitches along the zipper and other things like that you're going to learn in the class.
Good.
That's
going to be great.
Hey, we'd love to see your studio.
All right, you ready? Let's do it. Okay. So the only thing that's different right now is I brought my ottoman out from the closet in front of me. So I'll tell you where it normally goes, but let me flip my little camera around. Okay. And let's come in from the door.
I love your flooring. Is it a brick flooring?
Here we are in my basement, and this is my door. It's a walkout basement, so you can see we got lots of sunlight.
Nice.
And I did put in my own door handle that's special and different than all the other doors in our house.
Oh, I see.
So I wish I could zoom out. I want to put this back where it goes so that it doesn't block the space. All right, as far out as this will let me go. So yes, it's a white brick floor.
Love that.
Then I have my little rug in the middle. So that's the ottoman that doesn't really go there. But there's my little desk. I have a lot of back problems, so that's why I have all these cushions. And my desk is adjustable, so it can be a standing desk when I need to really stand up for a minute. And my little baby plants get plenty of light. This is
nice.
My little shipping station over here, because if you don't know, I have a new little boutique that I just have I have t-shirts and merch and stuff like that. So this is where all your goodies get packed up and sent out. This is where I wind my yarn. And my sewing machine is stuck back there. It doesn't really belong, but oh well. That's a little sneak peek of new designs that I'm working on.
Wow.
Oh, these are Fair Play hats. I meant to show you guys these too.
Oh, yeah.
So these are just 3 examples. In Fair Play, you design your own hat. So you have a workout and a pattern that gives you, like, I want to say 10 to 20 different stitch patterns that you get to design your own hat with. So that's what those are. So we come over here, and this is a little bit more of my like inventory stuff that I carry. Can't help but have my initials.
Nice.
I love all the shelving that I was able to get because I love to feel organized. And here's the best part. Here's all the yarn cubbies.
Nice.
And everybody gets their own spot. So I don't keep a huge stash. People are shocked by that. This is my binding foam that I was describing. So this is how I make all your notebooks. But yeah, I don't keep a big stash because I am a finisher. I like to buy yarn, knit with it, and be done with it. So I have a few sweater quantities on hand that I have plans for. This is a very special room. Okay, so this is the only room that's not finished yet. This is my closet, but what I've made it into is my happy place. So it's my little she shed. So the ottoman goes right in front of this little pink chair. And back against this wall, my dad is building me a built-in bookshelf. And it is going to have a TV in it. And I am going to be able to go in there and shut my office door when I need to get away and have a little mommy moment. And it'll also mean that I can, like, if I do have like a work day where I actually get to knit a lot, then I can do it in my studio instead of, again, being upstairs and getting distracted by all the things. So once my bookshelves are in that room, then we'll truly be finished. But he's working on them this week, so I think it won't be much longer.
Nice. It's beautiful. And
Thank you so much.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, I'm obsessed with the organization. Oh, and then so we have like I went with my little. These are my colors. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I have a color palette for my brand, and I have used all the colors from my color palette. So
nice.
That, and then we wallpapered just one wall for fun. And most of the wallpaper includes like the colors. I have like this light pink, I have a coral, I have a dark green. So it was just like, when I found that wallpaper, I was so excited because I was like, it's perfect. And yeah, I've been told my design style is eclectic. So, and that is totally true. I like what I like, and it's not like I like all Southern stuff or I like all modern stuff. It's just a mixture. So I feel like my space is sort of a combination of like feminine industrial, because I've got some stuff like, my little, this guy, which is huge for organization, definitely a little industrial looking with my clock and some of the metal that we have going on here. But then you have the feminine things like the florals and the gold and the, pinky stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
My big mirror, my husband is so excited about this because this is my new selfie mirror. And before that, I used to have to take selfies in our bedroom. And he was like, I really wish that like our bedroom would stop being on the internet. Like, I just don't like it. And I was like, well, you're never in there. Like, why does it matter? And he was like, I just really don't like it. Can you please stop doing that? And I was like, well, as soon as they have somewhere else to, I'll be happy to. But like, I got to post my knit outfit of the day. How am I supposed to do it without our bedroom? So anyway, now I have also made my husband happy because we don't have to have any more bedroom photos. Even though I also love my bedroom. I just recently also sort of finished decorating my bedroom to where I really love it. So I would say we moved into our house, like, I think it'll be 3 years in November. And so it's obviously like we moved in a long time ago, but you know how it just takes time to sort of curate every space. So like, here's Hazel. When I opened the door, she found us. This is my puppy.
She's on the live.
She's on the live. She tends to make it into every single one because she's my mama's girl for sure. But yeah, so I finished my bedroom and I finished my studio, and Next up is making my old office into my husband's new home office, which is his birthday surprise. His birthday is September 14th, and he doesn't know that I'm doing that. So I have all the stuff. No, he's not on Instagram. He doesn't watch any of this, so he won't see it. Yeah, no, we're good. He's technically on it, but if he were to watch a minute of this live, he would peace out after like 2 seconds. He'd be like, I can't sit through this.
My husband too.
Yeah. He can't. Yeah, she's giving me. We
gotta open our shop up.
Oh.
Yeah, you do. I forgot that you're waiting for me. Yeah. Well, don't let me keep you. But thanks so much for having me and on the live, and also yes, I cannot wait. I'm absolutely thrilled to be coming, and I love teaching. I love watching the light bulbs go off, and I love leaving knitters with just knowing that they can really make garments that fit them. So pretty much all my classes have something to do with that, and it's just a joy for me. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate.
You're
welcome.
To you soon.
Talk
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right.